Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you all to the first youth webinar. Today, we're going to be sharing our emotions, talking about how we've been feeling throughout this quarantine. I want you all to feel welcome, feel safe. This is a safe environment where you can speak openly about everything you've been going through, everything you've been experiencing, how you've been feeling. But first, before we start with all of this, I want to um, leave you guys with my mom, Kenia Zuniga. She's one of the organizers for this with these webinars, and she's going to talk a little bit about what AzCHOW is and how this idea was born.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos. Primero que nada, quiero decirles que bienvenidos y estoy muy emocionada por este nuevo proyecto que estamos iniciando el día de hoy porque creo que es algo que es muy necesario en AzCHOW, que es Arizona Community Health Workers Association. Creemos que es un tema que está ahorita totalmente necesitado para nuestros jóvenes porque nos estamos enfocando a lo mejor en la salud de los niños, nos estamos enfocando en lo de los papás, pero estamos dejando de un ladito esta parte tan importante que es la de nuestros jóvenes, los adolescentes. Este webinar, como el título lo dice, Jóvenes fortaleciendo la salud mental cuando la música tuvo sentido. Lo que queremos es, lo que AzCHOW quería y quiere lograr con este webinar, es que todos nuestros jóvenes, todos los jóvenes de la comunidad tengan este espacio en el que se sientan seguros de venir y compartir sus experiencias, cómo se han sentido durante esta cuarentena. Sí, porque como siempre lo decimos, si nosotros como adultos nos hemos sentido afectados y tan impactados con todo lo que se está viviendo a un nivel mundial, que no nada más fue algo que sucedió localmente, sino que todo esto del COVID-19 pasó a un nivel mundial. Entonces todos estamos de repente como frustrados, con miedo, estresados. Entonces queríamos darles ese espacio a los jóvenes. ¿Qué es lo que ellos están viviendo? Saber qué es lo que están viviendo. Y algo muy importante que quiero decirles es que no nada más es un espacio para que ellos se conecten, también es un espacio para que ustedes como papás, a los que nos estén escuchando y tienen hijos, perdón, que son adolescentes, también se conecten. ¿Por qué? Para que escuchen y pongan atención a lo que los jóvenes están teniendo, a esos pensamientos que están viviendo, a qué emociones pueden estar viviendo, que también ustedes puedan identificar en sus hijos, en sus sobrinos o si están relacionados de alguna forma con jóvenes, que ustedes aprendan a identificar y que digan, o a lo mejor decir, ok, tratar de entenderlos un poco más, entender qué es lo que están viviendo ellos, cómo están viviendo esto, cómo lo están sintiendo, cómo están sintiendo este tiempo de encierro, lo podemos decir. Y pues nada más, esperamos que esto llegue muy lejos porque queremos que que mucha gente se vea impactada positivamente y que se vea beneficiada con este webinar. Así que bienvenidos a todos y muchas gracias. Víctor, te doy la palabra.
Yeah, thank you, Mom. First of all, I want to say that I'm very excited for this because it was talked about a while back, and I'm very happy that it's actually coming to be. So I want to talk about something first before we start. I want to say that this is going to be a bilingual a webinar. So it's going to be in English and Spanish. So if anybody that doesn't speak that much English has a doubt or something they need to ask, feel free to ask in the chat and we'll explain in Spanish too. Quiero decir nomás para los que no hablen mucho inglés que este webinar también es bilingüe y si tienen algunas dudas porque no entienden mucho, porque no se les facilita mucho el inglés, podemos explicar, nomás manden por el chat las preguntas que tengan y podemos explicarles en español. Vamos a estar, la mayoría va a ser en inglés, casi todo el webinar va a ser en inglés, pero cualquier pregunta que tengan lo podemos explicar en español. First, I want to let my fellow panelists present themselves, starting with Stephanie Figueroa. I don't know if you want to present yourself to the people.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Figueroa. I am one of the panelists here, and I'm kind of just here to answer questions and just kind of help out. Um, and well, yeah, I'm just here for any questions and anything you guys need.
Okay. Our second panelist is going to be with us today is Mr. Victor Flores. He is a specialist in mental health, psychologist. Yeah.
Thank you, Victor. Um, as you can see, I'm trying to figure out how to go back and forth with the PowerPoint, and I I like being a part of this, and I just want to say a little bit about being a part of this. My background is in mental health, and I got to tell you, part of doing what I do is a real enjoyment. Part of it is doing this for over 30 years and being able to work with different entities, the courts, schools, behavioral health, whoever allows it, and also being able to work with people that have different things like depression, anxiety, addiction, or other issues. Those kinds of things are always something that's prevalent. But really being here today is as a panelist helps me to stay updated. But more than anything, my background is in working with a lot of people that have things going on, whether they're Hispanic, Latino, whether it's immigration, border issues, you name it. But there's a lot of things that are really made to appreciate, because today is just basically a discussion. It's a talk, and that's what I like about today. It's pretty informal, and people are just gonna listen and weigh in. Y para todos los que van a escuchar este webinar hoy, es una plática, y en esta plática vamos a poder hablar de todo lo que está ocurriendo en la sociedad, todo lo que nos impacta, y como profesionista en lo que es la salud mental, me toca hablar con personas que tengan asuntos de salud mental, depresión, ansiedad, y a veces son cosas bien complicadas, o a veces un poquito no tan complicadas, así que depende. So if you're here just to listen in, get ideas, or just because you just want to have a couple of things to say, this is the place to be. So let me kick it back to my namesake, to my tocayo, Victor.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. Well, first of all, I want to say that we're here for you guys, so you guys can share your stories with us, share your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, how you guys have been feeling throughout this quarantine, with everything that has been going on with COVID-19. I mean, we all are, we all have gone through a drastic change that it was very impactful for most of us. So yeah, whatever you guys want to ask, whatever you guys want to share, we'll be looking at the chat. We'll be ready to answer your questions. But yeah, first I want to kick off the conversation by I'm gonna be sharing what I have felt throughout this quarantine, and then I'll be asking Stephanie to share it too. So yeah, me during quarantine, I mean, what can I say? It's just, it hasn't been the worst time, but obviously it could be better. I miss my friends. I miss going out. I miss my girlfriend. It's kind of, it's not, I was gonna say it's kind of hard being here, but there's always something that helps me with the stressors, with stuff that bothers me. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how music and arts, how we use arts and music and stuff like that to address stressors and address problems that we've had, or address certain negative emotions that we don't want to be having, or maybe use that music or those arts to channel that negative emotions, no, those negative thoughts into positive emotions, positive thoughts. So yeah, during this quarantine, I mean, I've felt like I've never been someone that likes being in one place. I've always been someone that likes to go out, someone that likes to um, hang out with friends. So it's been kind of hard for me being just here, um, because I feel like if we want this to get better, we have to follow the rules. We have to stay home, and yeah. I want to ask Stephanie how she's been feeling in this quarantine.
Thank you, Victor. But yeah, me too. Honestly, because I was part of the promoting group from 8th grade this year, and it definitely sucked. Like my graduation getting canceled, or not really what we were expecting. I don't think any of us were really expecting to our lives just kind of get a little shut down for a little bit. But I definitely felt, how do you say, loneliness kind of crept up from time to time. Like, and I definitely miss my friends. But although missing my friends, I definitely got closer to people at my house. Like at home, I did notice that all of us got more, we got along a lot more. So that was definitely a plus for quarantine. But yeah, pretty much it's not what we expected, but it's not that bad either.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to ask if you have any questions. We can make this a conversation. We can go back and forth. I ask a question, you ask a question. Uh, so, do you have any question that you want to ask me before I share my next question? No. Okay. Well, I wanted to say that you already kind of talked about this, but I wanted to say if you had noticed any change at home relating to a stronger or decreased connection with your family, being your siblings, being your parents. I honestly feel that in this quarantine, I have grown to have a stronger connection with my little brother because my parents have been working very hard, and sometimes they're not here and I have to take care of him. So it's just me and him sometimes. So I feel like we've grown a lot as brothers, and we've created this strong bond. We always had a bond, but I feel like it's been stronger than ever now. So, and from my parents, I feel like I have also learned a lot because, and I have also gotten a stronger connection with them too because they've been, now that we've have so much time because we're at home, they've been teaching me a lot of stuff. My dad, my mom, and I feel like as a family, we've all grown together and we've all kind of created stronger bonds with each other. And I feel like maybe some of you guys out there can relate to that, or maybe you don't. Maybe being stuck in quarantine has maybe affected your connection with your family towards a negative way. Maybe, I don't know. For me, it's been positive, but what I'm saying is we've all reacted differently to this quarantine, to this situation. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe some of us have seen it in a positive way, some of us have seen it in a negative way. Some have probably felt in a negative way, but try to change it into a positive way. And that's what we want to do today. We want to try to avoid negative thoughts, negative feelings. And if there is any negative thoughts and feelings, try to channel them into positive feelings, try to help all of you feel more comfortable, and if you have any doubts, answer them. Something I want to ask you, Stephanie, like I said right now, can you elaborate a little bit more about what you said, the stronger connection with your family?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely could relate to you in that. I have a niece myself, and I've been taking care of her too, and we've grown a lot closer. And me and my parents had always had like a really close relationship, but now that we're really at home and with each other all the time, I definitely felt I learned more about them, that I like little details that I didn't know, which are still pretty amazing to me, that my 13 years of living I hadn't noticed. And I'm really glad, but like you said, I'm also really worried because some of my friends definitely did not have the same experience as me, and it's tough. But like you said, we're here to help them improve and try to channel those negative emotions and just bad feelings into something positive and something that they could be proud of in the near future. And I hope we can make that possible today.
Thank you. I wanted to ask, I want to talk about home environments because me personally, I have a very positive, very healthy, safe home environment. But there's a lot of people, and this is what a lot of people don't ever think about. There's a lot of people that don't have those positive, those safe, healthy home environments. And we want those people to know that there's someone thinking about them. There's someone that knows, that's us. We know that you guys probably don't have the same environment that we have at home. I have personally, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that my parents work hard and make sure that me and my little brother have everything we need. There's no violence. There's no negative energy here at home. But we never know who actually has that at home, who has violence. We know that their problems can range from as little as feeling lonely and sad because they're not with their friends, ranging all the way to maybe even sexual or domestic abuse. And that's what we don't know. We don't know who is going through that. And that's why we want to make sure that everyone that is going through that, if you get to hear this, know that you are not alone and that there's other people going through what you're going through. You'll never be the only one going through what you're going through. There, even if you feel lonely and you feel like you're not you're lonely and you feel like there's nobody else going through what you're going, there always is someone that is thinking about people like you. There's always someone that's thinking about people that go through hard stuff like that. Even us that don't go through stuff like that, think about it and think about, damn, like I'm living happy, I'm living comfortably, but what if someone isn't? And that sucks. It's a really hard thing to think about, but it's something we need to think about, something we need to address, because it's not something that should be happening. It's not something that's healthy. It's not something that we all go through, and it's important to know that people do go through that. So also I want to talk about how some people have noticed changes in themselves throughout this quarantine, especially me. I've grown to learn that that I can be how can I say this? I can be very, I don't know how to explain it. Well, I started working out. I have started playing a lot of music and hearing music that I hadn't even heard before, and grown in to like new stuff that I didn't even know I liked. Because with all this time we have now, I think we have time to figure out what stuff, maybe learn about new talents, or learn about new things we like, learn about new things that help us go through this quarantine. And I've realized that there's so many things that I didn't even know I had in me that just came out throughout this quarantine. And I don't know if you've noticed any changes in yourself, Stephanie. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Definitely. I think being in quarantine and being by yourself, with yourself all the time, you definitely start seeing things about yourself that you didn't. I personally noticed that, like you said, I didn't know I like certain types of music. I didn't know I like certain type of genres and movies and stuff. And I like, it's really interesting how, since quarantine and everything just kind of stopped for a second, everybody wasn't running around, wasn't doing their own thing. Like, they kind of got time to calm down and kind of see kind of get to know yourself a little better. Like you said, it's definitely interesting, and it's definitely true.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Mr. Flores, I don't know if you have any comments you want to make about what we talked about. If you want to give us a professional opinion about stuff we've mentioned throughout our conversation as far from now.
I like what you said. You're on point. You're on target. You said exactly some of the stuff that I wanted to just kind of put out there. So I actually categorized a couple of things that I've been told by youngsters that I've worked with here. And I got to tell you, uh, you said it right. Some of the kids, school, for example, that they can't go to anymore is probably the most stable place that they might have, even more stable than home, and now it's not there. So now there's a different kind of possible challenge by being home. So you already said it. So home might not be the safest place for some of the kids that are out there. But yeah, so there's I was looking at some of the when I worked with young people. Some of the things that I look at is some of them had told me on the positive side, hey, the relationship with their families have improved. Some are tell me, hey, we became closer, like you were saying about your brother and Stephanie. You get closer to your siblings, and there's a real appreciation about what your parents do and stuff like that. But on the other side of the coin, sometimes um, with with this quarantine, like you were saying, isolation, sometimes disconnected, sometimes lonely. Those kinds of things lead to other things uh, that aren't so good. And I think I put a couple of things, uh, some of the points out there that what this can lead to, and I'll get to that in 2 seconds. But my question y mi pregunta es para Kenia, y mi pregunta es, como madre de familia, Kenia, ¿qué son unas de las cosas que ha ocurrido dentro de la casa de ustedes, de tuya, con la cuarentena? So what are some of the things I'm asking Kenya, or some of the things that have happened, with the quarantine within your own household?
Gracias por la pregunta. Pues, como Víctor lo decía, ¿no? Aquí a lo mejor nos ha unido un poquito más porque aunque siempre hemos sido como una familia unida o tenido como una buena relación respecto a la comunicación, ahora creo que sí estamos un poco más porque estamos compartiendo más tiempo juntos. Nadie podemos salir, a lo mejor nada más pues como papás salimos al trabajo, pero ya de ahí en fuera todo el tiempo es estar pues con ellos. Entonces es totalmente el tiempo libre que tenemos, que a lo mejor antes era pues un poquito de tiempo también, pues para ir con unas amigas, para ir a hacer otras cosas. Entonces ahora ese tiempo, o ellos que ir con sus amiguitos, salir a jugar, ahora ese tiempo lo estamos compartiendo nosotros. Empezamos a hacer ejercicio juntos en familia, estamos haciendo ahí una rutina, nos ponemos todos ahí en la sala. También, como él lo decía, he visto mucho crecimiento en ellos, en los dos, he visto mucho crecimiento personal. Cosas que antes no hacían o que no, pues no sabían porque siempre estábamos ahí para solucionarlo nosotros, ya fuera papá o yo. Entonces, ahora que como nosotros, gracias a Dios, seguimos teniendo trabajo, no paramos, entonces pues sí se quedan un momento del día ahí ellos, ¿no? Entonces han aprendido a cocinar, han aprendido a hacer cosas que probablemente no hubieran aprendido de otra forma porque siempre estábamos o yo haciéndolo o siempre había alguien dando eso. También una de las cosas también que miro es, y a lo mejor esto no es mucho totalmente algo que está pasando no nada más en mi familia, sino en todas, y me recuerdo mucho de uno de los ejemplos que me daban en otro webinar, una de las mamás me decía que su hijo, en vez de estar viendo esto de una forma negativa, lo de la cuarentena, lo empezó él a ver de una forma positiva y la hizo a ella cambiar su pensamiento, que le dijo, es que mamá, ¿no te das cuenta que nosotros estamos escribiendo historia en este momento? Esto que está pasando ahorita va a salir escrito en los libros en un futuro. Entonces lo que este muchachito empezó a hacer fue empezar a tomar fotos. Si se encontraba un cubrebocas tirado, si se encuentra un guante tirado en la calle, todo lo que tenga que ver relacionado con lo de la cuarentena o con lo del COVID-19, él toma fotos y lo está documentando. Entonces me pareció algo bien, bien interesante y bien importante cómo este jovencito lo transformó en algo positivo y cómo a lo mejor él le digo, oye, le digo a la mamá esta, y él sabía o tú sabías que tu hijo tenía esa pasión por la fotografía. Y me dice, no, yo creo que ni él, pero lo descubrió. Entonces ahora pues tiene y descubrió ese talento, ¿verdad? Que tiene ese talento. Entonces creo que esa es una de las cosas positivas que podemos sacar de todo esto, el unirnos más como familia, el conocernos nosotros mismos, aprender a conectar con nosotros mismos y saber pues qué son las cosas que nos gustan. Muchas veces estamos tan ocupados y ustedes jóvenes que están en la escuela y que están saturados de tarea y con actividades después de clases, muchas veces se les olvida esa parte de conectar con ustedes mismos, entonces hay que aprovechar este tiempo libre que estamos a lo mejor teniendo en este momento.
Así que esa es la perspectiva de una mamá. So the perspective of a parent, a family, and that's what we're talking about here is those things. Because one of the things that we don't want to lose here is that we're talking about art and art forms, but I want to just also touch on these things. Um, you know, the things that people are going through, at least that I've been told, these are just a couple of them. But the things that are prevalent happening out there con la cuarentena, with the quarantine and everything, COVID-19, racism, grief and loss when somebody passes, suicide, relationships, relationship with parents, immigration, language barriers, bullying, etc. All this are things that are pummeling and hitting people, and it's really something that we try to manage and do something with. So they're problems and they're stressors for many of us. Son cosas que nos preocupan y nos mortifican. Así que todo que del coronavirus a la inmigración, lo que todo tiene algo que ver. Y con eso comenzamos a ver cómo utilizan la música, el arte todo, fotografías, lo que sea. Y ahí es donde otra vez se la devuelvo la palabra a mi tocayo. Here you go, Victor.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. I want to say that a lot of people, I believe that a lot of people will relate to using forms of art as forms to address the stressors we have been having, like maybe, like you said, grief, bullying, all that stuff, loss. A lot of people, a lot of music comes from negative emotions and negative things that have happened in someone's life. Sometimes what they say, that pain creates the best art, or at least sometimes the most meaningful, and it's why that's why I want to ask the people watching if there's any a way of addressing those stressors that you guys have gone through. Maybe if it's music, maybe it's art, whatever it is, maybe how you guys have endured the harsh times we've been in, and not necessarily harsh, but the just the simple concept of just being in one place and just not being able to go anywhere else. Like, how have you guys handled that? I think it's something that's really important to talk about, because like Mr. Flores said, and how AzCHOW has noticed recently is that the suicide rates and depression rates for youth has increased. It has like spiked up so high during quarantine time, because so many people haven't been able to take it. You know, some people haven't been able to work around this. I haven't been able to cope with it, and it's something that really it really shocks me how a lot of people um, have gone through hard, like probably that, let's say that they went through something hard right before quarantine started, and instead of being able to go out and distract themselves and work towards forgetting about that negative thing that happened, maybe it happened and then boom, quarantine started. Now they're stuck at home, and maybe they that's the last thing that happened to them. Maybe they lost a family member. Maybe they went through some sort of abuse. Maybe they went through some sort of uh, any kind of loss. And now instead of being able to go out with their friends or go out and distract themselves, maybe use something else as de-stressors to like forget about it. Maybe now they're stuck. They got stuck in quarantine in their house, and now they don't now they it's maybe probably, I don't want to say harder, but maybe it's harder to cope with the stuff they were going through. And that's why I want to talk about art and how a lot of people don't think about how art can help you throughout these times. A lot of art is used to show your emotions. So maybe drawing. A lot of people that have the talent of drawing or doing or painting or sketching and doing stuff like that, they whatever is going on through their minds, whatever is going on through their heads, they just paint and they just let all of those emotions flow out of them, and that's how they de-stress, and that's how they forget about, that's how they escape from the reality we're living in. And some people play music. Some people, when they're playing music, they just forget about everything, forget about everything that's going on around them, and just and then just feel that music, feel what they're playing. And sometimes it's sad music, sometimes it's happy music, but whatever it is, whatever kind of music it is, it always has a meaning and it always has a reason. There's always someone, whatever they're playing, they have a reason for playing that. If it's something sad, maybe that's how they're trying to cope with something sad that happened, by expressing it through their music, by playing their instrument, by singing, whatever it is that they're doing. Poetry, writing, some stuff like that. A lot of people have such a creative mind, and right now, stuck in quarantine, it's a good time for them to just let that creativity explode and really just, I mean, if you're a poet, write all the poetry you can. If you're a writer, stories. Like my mom said earlier, the kid that's taking pictures and making like a book about all the stuff that's happening right now during quarantine and COVID-19. Like, that's one of the best ideas I've ever heard, because he's flipping everything around using art, using pictures, and using writing stories and stuff like that to flip it all around and make it something positive. And that's what a lot of people, that's why I want to encourage a lot of people to try to find something that helps them throughout these times. Maybe it's coming here and talking about what you're going through. Maybe it's, like we said, playing music. Maybe it's drawing. Maybe it's listening to music. Sometimes you don't even have to play music. Sometimes even just hearing music helps. It helps me a lot, actually. I'm kind of always hearing music. It's something that I'm always doing, because it helps me just clear my mind and forget about the stress that I'm having. Because sometimes the music that I hear, maybe let's say it's rock, or let's say it's something like loud. Maybe it's I used to be in a band. I am in a band, but right now, obviously, for obvious reasons, we can't play. We can't go and have our regular gigs that we used to have. So now what I do is just I hear music that I played with my band, because we mostly played covers. So I'll just hear the music that we used to play with them and remember the good times that we had and stuff like that. I don't want to talk about it like we're not ever gonna play again, but it's just like, I'm just saying, like, the good times that that we shared. And because it was such a I before I joined the band, I would probably go out with friends every weekend, go out with my friends, my family. And when I joined my band, my lifestyle completely changed, and it started being every weekend, going to play in Mexico, going to play in different places. And when I got so used to it, I got so used to that lifestyle, just being practicing throughout the week, weekends always going and playing somewhere, not having time to be with my friends or spend time with my family. And when quarantine hit, uh, it changed so much because I had gotten so used to being every weekend. Just it got to the point where I wasn't getting tired. I was getting, sometimes I would feel like like not I don't want to say like this again. I want to say like like okay, like I kind of felt tired, but the days that I didn't play, I missed it. And it's kind of funny because you would think that that, oh my god, a break finally between these weeks that I've been playing. Oh, a break. But no, it's like you get that break, you finally get that break, and you're like, oh, I missed playing just 1 week. Now imagine I've been in months now that I haven't played because I've been in quarantine. And I don't know if any other person out there is feeling that way. I'm guessing there is, because there's a lot of people that were in bands, or a lot of artists that share their music with people. And I'm really I can really relate to those emotions. And I know that some people will relate to what I'm trying to say right now, that we were so used to a certain lifestyle, and now it's all changed. And not only musicians, also other people that used to work in places that weren't essential jobs, maybe people that now don't have their jobs and are just at home, and they were so used to working maybe 10 hours a day, and now they're not, and now they're at home. Some people might be alone. Some people might not have family and might be completely alone at home. Some might be a single parent, having to take care on their own, having to take care for their children. And like it relates to what we said before, that we never know what someone else is going through, what someone else's story is. So that's where we're trying to encourage people to do: share what their stories are, share what they're going through. So maybe we could try to help in some way, or give you guys some positive ways to figure it out. I want to ask Mr. Flores about that too. Is Mr. Flores, what would you recommend for people that are going through stuff like that? People that weren't used to this kind of lifestyle and the drastic change. How would you recommend them to probably try to cope with the drastic change we all went through?
That's a great question. And one of the things that I always ask people is, what does your support network look like? Who's in your support system? Whether it's parents, siblings, friends, you name it. And how do you access them? How do you get a hold of them? Because some people say, well, through phones, others say through the computer, others say in person, they're my neighbors. So there's different ways, but a support network is a very important thing to have. And so that's one of the things that I never fail to ask. I always ask that, but I think none of us are an island. It's really, we sometimes think we feel like we're on an island and it's just ourselves, and that's where everything starts closing in. But for the most part, we do everything in groups. People are social beings. We can't help it. No matter how isolated we think we are, we're social beings. We rely on others. We're like a plant. We rely on sunlight. We rely on other people's energies. So, I just want to throw out there, I saw a Q&A question. I just want to answer it live since I can. And the question is about just expressing gratitude about what we're doing here in the safe space. And I think I agree. That's why I got involved, because the individuals on the panel in what's being done here, it just feels very real, very relevant, and very safe. And I think those things are completely perfect. Así que nomás quiero agradecer que ser parte de esto, y que las personas que están escuchando sepan que ellos aprecian lo que estamos haciendo, y lo que yo veo, lo que estamos trabajando aquí, no nomás es relevante a ciertas personas que están escuchando, es una forma de ayuda. Así que nomás quiero repetir eso. So Victor, did that kind of answer the question you put in front of me?
Yeah, thank you for that. I wanna also ask. I know I talked a lot, and I didn't really ask for Stephanie's opinion about what I was talking about. About what you remember that I was talking about, Stephanie. What could you share your opinion about that?
Let's see. Well, music, I think it's really cool. Going back to the music and how we all use a form of art to kind of help us cope with like all types of emotion. And I think it's really cool because music has all types of genres. It has like whenever you're feeling really sad, you can listen to happy music, or when you're feeling sad and you kind of want a way to express yourself, it kind of helps you when you let's see. Let's go back. People when people go through tough times, sometimes it's really hard for them to actually talk about it out loud, like say it out loud. And people that draw, that paint, that sketch, that do poetry, it's kind of a way for them to express themselves. And I think it's really helpful that there's different ways.
I want to ask, what do you think about what I talked about the different ways that people have coped with this drastic change because some people didn't really expect it and they were so used to different lifestyles, and now that their life just changed completely. Maybe they're, like I said, maybe they're alone. Like maybe they don't live with their family. Maybe there's just one person living alone and in quarantine. Like a lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people, most people live with their families and are with their families during quarantine, but there's a lot of people that aren't and might be alone during this. So I want to ask you, like, if you were to be alone, if you were to, uh, and this is because if there's someone out there that ever watches this who is alone, I want you to know that, like, you're not alone. Maybe not physically, but in thought, we think about you guys. So I want to ask Stephanie, how do you think you would feel if you were to be alone during this quarantine? I have nobody to talk to, or maybe no contact with anybody else. Like I want to know, like, how would you feel if you were to be one of those people?
To be honest, the sad question would be I definitely feel lonely, most definitely. But the positive side of me wants to say I would probably try to find ways to distract myself by watching movies, by maybe going on a walk, because that's you should trying to exercise, because that's true. Like there are some people that are alone during quarantine right now, and it's definitely concerning. Like it's scary that they maybe don't think that way, that they think that they're alone when, like you keep saying, like you said, they're not alone. And there's people like me and you who luckily are not alone and are really fortunate that are thinking about them and are constantly having them in our prayers, if that's what you believe in, and having them in our thoughts, just constantly wishing them good and wishing them to feel safe and wishing them to not feel so alone and depressed.
I want to ask for Mr. Flores' personal opinion on that topic as well. What would you think? How do you think people should try coping with being alone during this quarantine if they're not with their families or if they're just living alone for some reason? How do you think? What do you think about that?
Again, a great question. I think a lot of people that I've been working with are alone, and what they tell me that they do in order to cope with being alone is some of them do exercise, some of them take up hobbies. It's not just watching TV, novelas. It's doing a lot more than that. And I think that part of it, for example, one of my sons I have one of my sons is 20, and he paints and he does a lot of producing music. So he does a lot of that in order to keep himself busy, knowing that there was a curfew where we're at, and lots of social distancing, so lots of limitations. So again, the people I've been working with that have been struggling with isolation, with disconnection, with everything, have taken up to doing things that keep them busy. Okay, so not all of them have jobs. Some of them working from home, but keep them busy. So I just use my son as an example. I have one of his paintings in the back here behind me, and I think that's something that definitely is something that he does to stay busy. And there was another question in the Q&A that I just want to kick out there. It was, do you and other panelists have an outreach program? Well, you know, we're located in different places in terms of outreach, but definitely if you tell us where you're at, we can see what there is available in your community if needed, because people come into these webinars from all over. So that's definitely something we can look into.
I want to take these last minutes we have to welcome everybody to have, if they have any questions, any doubts, anything they want to share or ask us, to feel free to ask anything you want. Los que quieran, quiero tomar este último tiempo que nos queda aquí en este webinar para decirle a los que tengan algunas dudas, tengan algunas preguntas, que se sientan, no se pongan, no nerviosos, no se pongan, que no les dé vergüenza preguntarnos lo que quieran preguntar, lo que quieran, o que no les dé vergüenza compartir con nosotros lo que sé que quieran compartir, las historias, cómo ustedes se han intentado distraer, o cómo ustedes se han intentado hacer para sentirse más a gusto en esta cuarentena. Si no quieren hacer share, no tienen que hacerlo. Pueden hacerlo de una manera anonymous, para que no tienen que decir su nombre, pero sí, si alguien quiere preguntar algo ahorita, pues voy a dar un poquito de tiempo para contestar esas preguntas.
Sí, por favor pregunten, que no les dé miedo, que nuestro punto de estar aquí es para que ustedes se sienten seguros y que ustedes sientan la confianza en poder preguntar preguntas, poder hablar de tu situación, poder compartir con otra gente lo que estás sintiendo y lo que te estás preguntando ahorita.
En lo que esperamos para ver si preguntan o si deciden hacer share. También quería preguntarle, tenemos una pregunta. Dice, why do our moms have to get mad at us all the time? Well, me personally, as a youngster, I would say that, well, first I'm going to give my opinion on that, and then I might ask my mom to share what she thinks about that, or maybe Mr. Flores. But what I want to say is that it's maybe, I don't want to say that they get mad at you all the time. I want to say that maybe they want you to be the best you can, you know, and maybe they would just want to push you to be better, and they just want you to, I don't know, maybe try to use this extra time we have to better ourselves in any way. I want to give Mr. Flores an opportunity to see if he can answer that question as well.
Voy a rescatar a Kenia, pero so here's a typical answer, a very common answer. Parents are also struggling with the quarantine. Parents are also going through things. They're not used to having their kids home, and they're not used to being home maybe in some cases. So now they're having to do something brand new to them too. So they're going to get pretty much on a short fuse too, from what I've been seeing. So I think that those kinds of things are really common, and that's a great question. It might be the number one question. So that's a real good question. So next question.
Yeah, I really agree with that. I mean, we're all going through the same thing. Parents and kids, we're all going through the same thing. Over here in the chat, someone said, mi hija y yo utilizamos la música para alabar a Dios y buscar maneras para sentir paz. La música me relaja y me hace sentir paz interior. Los felicito mucho por eso. Es algo muy bonito que expresen su fe y sus sentimientos con la música. Se me hace algo muy bonito y algo muy importante que ustedes tomen la importancia en su religión y que incluso en estos tiempos tan duros todavía sigan con fe y todavía y encuentren esa forma de sentir, como dicen ustedes, paz interior y una forma de relajarse. Me alegra mucho escuchar eso. No sé si quiera hablar un poco. Alguien preguntó, ¿qué tal cuando no se les da el arte o música? Esa es una muy buena pregunta. Yo diría que no siempre es arte y no siempre es música lo que nos puede relajar, lo que nos puede distraer. Siempre hay diferentes formas para cada quien tiene sus diferentes formas de distraerse, cada quien tiene sus diferentes formas um, de, de pues intentar no sobrevivir, de intentar sentirse mejor en esta cuarentena. También quiero preguntarle también al señor Flores si no tiene una respuesta para esa pregunta, porque pues yo soy músico y yo hago relate más el lado de la música y el arte, pero sé que hay mucha gente que tal vez no conecte con eso. So, quiero preguntarle a Mr. Flores si hay algo que quiere decir él sobre esto.
Creo que ya lo dijiste retequete bien. Así que hay muchas personas que no, a lo mejor y no tengan esa habilidad con la música o con el arte, pero para mí, yo soy uno de ellos. Así que yo lo que encuentro es involucrarme en algo, stay busy with something, hacer algo que me tenga involucrado y a veces el solo hecho de escuchar algo que me gusta mientras trabajo, comienzo a moverme con más certeza, con más confianza. Así que no necesariamente tiene que ser que tenemos un don o un talento, pero sí tiene mucho que ver que estemos en un espacio seguro y centrado. Así que de eso se trata. Están entrando más preguntas. Um, ahí te las dejo, Tocayo.
Gracias, señor Flores. Aquí alguien preguntó, voy a meterme aquí rápido. Alguien preguntó, how can we get our frustration out without offending people? That's a very good question. Frustration can make us do a lot of things that maybe or say a lot of things that maybe we didn't want to say, do some things that maybe we didn't want to do. So I really recommend, from my point of view of a youngster, I would say that try to find a way to forget about that frustration, or maybe get rid of that frustration. Maybe you can't get rid of it completely, but maybe you can try to at least distract yourself from it, forget about it for a minute, and just think about something else. Maybe if it's I don't know, watching TV. If you're not with the arts and music, maybe watch TV. Maybe play a game with your siblings or family. Or maybe try to bring out that frustration in a positive way. Maybe try to, instead of bringing it out in an offensive way or in a negative way, maybe try to talk about it with someone. Maybe try to talk about someone and tell them why you're frustrated. Instead of taking out the frustration on that person, you could talk to them about it and be like, okay, well, I've been feeling frustrated and I've been feeling worried or anything like that. I want Mr. Flores if he has something to say about that.
I think you already said it, but I'm just going to reiterate it. I think it's you can confront without attack, and doing it when things are chill, when things are calm, is really the best time to do it, not when everybody's elevated. Así que en lugar de cuando uno anda frustrado, en lugar de atacar, posiblemente tomar una pausa, esperar un ratito y volver a ese asunto cuando esté un poquito más calmado. Lo dijo muy bien mi tocayo.
Quiero preguntarle, señor Flores, aquí alguien dijo, soy maestra y les comparto que algunas madres de familia de jóvenes me han compartido que no saben qué hacer con sus hijos, que se ven bastante deprimidos por el encierro. ¿Algún recurso para las madres solteras de jóvenes que sea sencillo de entender? Páginas de internet, programas, etcétera. No sé si usted tenga algo que decir sobre eso.
Sí, y da la casualidad que mi señora es directora de una escuela y es exactamente con lo que están tratando. Así que lo más prudente es que las madres de familia están tratando con lo mismo, es algo nuevo para ellos y muchas veces las escuelas ponen los recursos y pueden checar con los mismos directores, con los mismos maestros, que si necesitan platicar con alguien. Y es más, les extienden por el internet diferentes recursos y diferentes sitios web para poder tener acceso a algo que les va a alivianar todo el estrés, que les va a ayudar. Así que cada distrito, si no lo están haciendo, deben de estar haciéndolo. Y ahorita hay sitios web nacionales para si el caso alguien no lo está haciendo, pero casi todo es local.
Acá en el chat, creo que es la misma persona que había hablado de que utilicen la música para alabar a Dios y a relajarse y sentir paz interior. Mencionó también que ahora dijo en inglés, dijo, she also likes to paint and I as a mom gave her an opportunity, gave her an opportunity to express her emotions through paint on her room walls. She is amazing. She did 2 wall murals and currently working on the 3rd wall. She needs to express what she feels in a peaceful way. She needs to be active, and giving her the opportunity to express is challenging, but very convenient during this hard time. She is also participating in virtual groups at church and community. Her creativeness is being explored by me as a mother, giving her opportunities to do and not take personal challenges, coping with this new lifestyle. Yeah, I'm like I said before, I'm really happy that you guys are finding ways to cope with this situation we're in and cope with what we're going through. And it's very nice to hear that people have found ways to express themselves and bring out those positive emotions and channel those negative emotions into positive ways. Acá, over here, someone asked in the question and answer, ¿cómo motivar a los hijos para que no estén todo el día en el iPad o la televisión? Ok, pues yo como un joven diría, pues no, yo no soy un profesional en esto, ¿verdad? Yo no puedo decir, y yo no soy mamá o papá, ¿verdad? Pero puedo decir que pues es algo que nos distrae mucho a los jóvenes, ver la tele o jugar, nos distrae mucho y sí nos ayuda mucho en estos tiempos que estamos encerrados, y así sí nos distrae mucho y es algo que pues la tecnología ahorita es algo que ha cambiado mucho por los años y los jóvenes pues es con lo que conectamos mucho porque pues es con lo que hemos crecido y es con lo que hemos pues aprendido a hacer muchas cosas. No sé si si el señor Flores tenga algo para decir sobre eso. O Stephanie, no sé si quiere decir algo hablando sobre eso, sobre esa pregunta.
Gracias, Víctor. Sí, nos ha ido mucho también los gadgets, los electronics y eso a hacer cope con esto, pero también los papás que hagan la parte, como tratar de preguntarle a tus hijos qué quieren hacer, tratar de encontrar qué les gustan, darles opciones, no nomás quítate del iPad, quítate del phone, no, darles como que, oh, vamos afuera, vamos a caminar, vamos a hacer ejercicio, vamos a jugar juegos en board games, like, o no sé, vamos a platicar, vamos a ver una movie juntos, como, no nomás diles que se quiten, darles opciones, darles otras maneras, darles una razón para que se quiten del iPad, de su phone. No sé si el Mr. Flores tenga algo que agregar.
Sí, casi siempre es exactito lo que dijeron los dos, que un padre también tiene que sacar la cuenta cómo poner límites y cómo hacer las cosas para que no se convierta en conflicto. Así que es exactamente, y los jóvenes son los que tienen más perspectiva sobre estos asuntos que nos pueden decir a nosotros como padres. Y no sé si Kenia ya quiera dar aquí las últimas palabras.
Sí, muchas gracias. Se nos acabó el tiempo, ¿verdad? Pero muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos el día de hoy. Gracias, Víctor. Gracias a Víctor Junior y gracias a Stephanie por estarnos aquí acompañando el día de hoy, por responder a tantas preguntas y sobre todo por expresar y darnos a conocer el punto de vista de los jóvenes, ¿verdad? A Víctor Flores, muchas gracias por el apoyo que nos dio, por el apoyo que le dan a nuestros jóvenes, por haber aceptado estar aquí el día de hoy. Y no sé si alguien más quiera dar algunas palabras para cerrar ya con este webinar.
Pues yo ya para cerrar, quiero decir pues, muchas gracias por haberme invitado a facilitar estos webinars que este es el primero de varios que vamos a hacer y quiero invitarlos a que se vuelvan a conectar y sigan viniendo aquí a seguir contándonos sus historias, seguir contándonos sus formas de trabajar con este tiempo que tenemos. Y me alegra mucho escuchar de gente que dice que sí han encontrado formas y que sí han encontrado formas de sentirse mejor. Just to finish this off, I want to say that I'm very proud and very grateful that for the invitation to be here facilitating this webinar. This is the first of various webinars we're going to be doing, so I want to invite everybody that has been here to maybe join again, connect again, and really try I want to say I'm really happy that to hear that many of you have found ways to cope with these stressful times, and I'm very happy to hear that you guys are doing your best to be your best. Well, that's me. Just thank you all. Muchas gracias a todos. I'm gonna let Stephanie also say bye to you guys. Well, yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, Victor. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. Thank you for the parents and the teenagers that came here, because mental health is a priority, and sometimes, sadly, adults don't make it a priority sometimes. Like, they think because they're teenagers that, oh no, they don't have any problems. Like, oh no, they're not paying any bills, they're not working, they don't have any problems. Like, but thank you really, because mental health in teenagers really had to be addressed. And thank you for all the parents that are honestly trying to listen and find ways to help your kids out, and not just kind of closing yourself in and hoping for the best. Thank you. But yeah, I really hope next week you guys can join us too. Hopefully we have more people next week too. And for everyone that was here and listened and is gonna try to use the things that they learned here, if they learned anything in their day-to-day life, thank you. And I hope I see you guys next week. I don't know if Mr. Flores has something to say.
Yes, just thank you for including me in this, and I hope to see all of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eric.